A ground fire blanketing several hundred acres blocks their road. It wasn't here yesterday. Arndt and Bueller leave the van to search for a route around the fire, and they become wraiths, shrouded in a ghostly pall. They turn back, unable to find an alternate route, emerging from the haze like specters in vaporous illusion. Ultimately, they find the wells where the teams are scheduled to be, but it is clear that the fire crews took Noel Knight's advice and got out.
It looks deserted as well, except for that guy behind me.
Bueller and Arndt drive back toward the sun and hope for a clearer day tomorrow. Spilled oil covers the ground. There are more than 200 oil lakes, and some lakes are huge. One measures half a mile long by a quarter-mile wide. No one knows how deep it is. Recovering that oil is an environmental urgency. It is also an economic necessity. At first, the oil was considered worthless, sludge contaminated with sand and water. Many light ends, like propane and butane, had either evaporated or burned off. But Travis Brown and Richard Hinson believed the oil had value.
Our little testing proved that it's not sludge, it's an oil-water emulsion. It looks bad, but when you separate the oil and water, you get clean oil.
Brown and Hinson bulldozed a primitive open-pit oil treatment center with a plastic liner, a discarded pressure tank damaged by fire, and a pump originally used for sewage.
We put a chemical into the suction of the pickup pump and got it mixed. It's kind of like mixing a cake. You got to have a little bit of sugar in every mouthful. We got to have a little of that chemical in every gallon. So putting the chemical in the barrel and regulating the rate is kind of difficult, and it consumes some time. But then when we get the chemical and oil mixed into this pit, then all we got to do is heat it and leave it here less than 24 hours. And you've got water in the bottom, sellable oil on the top. Real simple.
The pilot program has produced 10,000 barrels a day of commercial oil.
Break, barrel and break, EOD, whatever.
Yeah, Mike, send over.
Harry, I've been searching 3-3. There's nobody here from the Kuwaitis yet. I'm not going to hang around here much longer. I can't find this rock eye, and I've searched that whole bank that you suggested, over.
Alan Fry wears a heavy flak jacket, looks through a plastic face shield, and crawls on his belly across a minefield in the blazing desert sand. He's part of the explosive ordnance disposal crew, clearing tons of live ammunition left after the war. Fry's Royal Ordnance team has found an Iraqi minefield. Some mines are on the surface, clearly visible. Some aren't.
Yeah, he's got his mine detector, metal detector. He's just sweeping the ground. If he detects any type of metal, the mine detector will make a signal. You dig the ground and move it until you find what exactly was causing the signal. For the most part, it's usually just pieces of metal. Occasionally, it's like you see the mines out there.
These mines are called VS-50s, Italian anti-personnel mines. Fry's crew found 34 yesterday and 37 the day before that.
It's powerful enough basically to take part of your foot off. So, in theory, if you lose part of your foot or large enough part of your foot, you'll probably lose your leg below the knee. So if you actually just ease your foot down onto the mine, that would be enough to set it off. Pressure-wise, anything between 2 to 10 pounds.
Fry works gingerly. He ties a piece of line around the mine. Then he moves away and tugs it.
Yeah, we basically pull the mine in case there's any kind of booby trap or remote device underneath it, so that we're not going to get caught by a booby trap.
He removes the detonator and neutralizes it. It joins the rest of the day's work.
36 today. So far, anyway.
A few miles away, another Royal Ordnance EOD crew slogs through oil-coated sand to get at several rock eyes. Andy Smith explains that rock eyes are tank killers, and these are too sensitive to move.
See what you have with a rock eye. You've got a shaped charge there, and around there you have fragment. If you can see it, that's fragmentation, and that's a shaped charge. So that's armed, that's basically anti-armour, this part. And that's anti-personnel. So if it goes on.
Thousands of tons of unexploded mines, bombs, and grenades litter the oil fields. EOD crews must clear a path before fires can be approached, before roads are built, before pipe is laid, or lagoons are dug. EOD operator Phil Tokel makes final preparation to blow the 5 rock eyes.
You've been doing this a while, have you?
Well, 16 years in the Army. I've been out the Army 2 years.
Any reason I should be nervous?
Basically, yes. Should be only one guy out here. Because if this thing turns to shit, only one guy gets it.
Advice taken from 1,000 meters away.
Stand by. Fire.
Yeah, I'm supposed to do that other sanding job there for that bad road. So we keep this gator down here. Maybe to pick that other bit of work up.
The war against the fires is going better than anyone predicted, and by late summer, Kuwaitis have returned to rebuild their country. In downtown Kuwait City, the traffic speeds along highways, and infrastructure services such as electricity, water, and sewer have been operating since early summer. Food is plentiful, and commerce is surging. Kuwaitis have always been known as good bargainers, and in the famous Fahahil fish market, war didn't change that. On the battlefield, blossoms are returning to the bougainvillea. And on the Gulf, recreation has resumed. By summer, the predictions of the final firefight shortened. Maybe, they said, the last blaze would be out by the end of 1992. And still, the pace quickened. On September 6th, the halfway well, number 375, was capped. By early October, firefighters had snuffed and capped more than 500 wells of the nearly 750 damaged. 30 firefighting teams killed fires and controlled wells at a rate exceeding 6 a day. Meanwhile, the oil fields are producing again. New wells are being drilled to replace those ruined by the vengeance of a demented, defeated destroyer. Refineries are back in operation. Kuwait Petroleum Company is selling more than 200,000 barrels a day. By year's end, that could reach 500,000 barrels, about a quarter of pre-war levels. Tank farms leveled by the war are being rebuilt and storage capacity renewed. On the morning of November 6, 1991, a Canadian team snuffed the last fire in the northern fields. Moments later, in the Burgan fields to the south, His Highness the Emir of Kuwait personally extinguished and capped the ceremonial final well, which also capped 8 months of unprecedented human effort, bringing back the sun to Kuwait.